everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's topic is going to be a quite heavy one. So it's about how much cancer costs in Singapore lah, okay? So basically I'll be showing you some cancer statistics. Then I'll also share about how the treatment is like, everything. And then after that, I'll show you some news articles about cancer survivors lah. Okay, so basically that's the video content, and then let's go. Okay, so basically why I wanted to do this topic is because of the recent changes in CDL. So if you didn't know the recent changes in CDL, you can watch my other video, which I'll put the link down below. Okay, so with the recent changes in the CDL, whether your integrated health shield plan is still sufficient, all these things. So all this boils down to the cost of like cancer. So if the cost of cancer is actually quite manageable, and then technically you don't need to buy any extra insurance plans, right? So let's just find out whether really the cost is manageable and what's the statistics on people getting cancer. Okay, so let's go. Okay, now for Singapore, you can see, right, this is based on the Health Promotion Board report lah. So they congregate everything, and then this is the data they have lah. So they are saying like the earliest available period is 1968 to 1972. Okay, so new cancer cases on yearly average was 2,000 plus only. Then recently cancer has like more than 8 times the old value. Yeah, so definitely cancer is more prevalent now lah. And also median age and diagnosis has increased, so it means that the older you are, you have a higher chance of cancer. And then last time cancer was diagnosed at lower ages lah, so now it's important to get coverage for cancer even into the older ages. Okay, yeah, especially so lah, into the older ages, I would say. Okay, so even so, mortality is lower, even though more people have died due to cancer, right? But mortality rate is actually lower. That's because of definitely the improvements in healthcare, all this thing. Okay, so they also have this top 5 cancers by gender. So I think they put the date wrongly, so it's supposed to be 1968 to 1972. Okay, so last time colon and rectum used to be very prevalent amongst males. Now it become lung lah. Okay, so for females it's still the same. Breast is the most common, followed by colon and rectum. Okay, so you can compare the differences in the cancers based on the different periods. Okay, so more and more cancers can possibly even come up. So these are just like most common cancers lah. Okay, then also how much of cancer leads to death lah. So for males, right, lung cancer always leads to the most number of death, so at 25%. And also for females, breast is the one that leads to death lah. So we do want to like take more care when these kind of cancers are diagnosed. I mean, everyone should take care when cancers are diagnosed lah. Just like dissection on which few cancers are more prevalent. Okay, so yeah, so also different age group, right, have different incidence of cancer lah. So you can see for young people, right, the most common cancer is actually the lymphoid neoplasm. Okay, then followed by the 30 years old people, still lymphoid neoplasm for males, but then for females it become breast. So after 30 years old, your breast cancer is a higher chance than other kind of cancers lah. Okay, so breast is still very high. Then for males, after 40 it becomes colon and rectum. So this all proves like what you should be taking note of when you reach certain age. So for females, right, breast after 30, for males colon and rectum after 40. Okay, so continue colon and rectum lah. So after 70 become prostate. Okay, so after 70 you should take a look at your prostate, and then after 80 you should take a look at your lung. So that's for males. So for females, all the way is breast. Okay, until they reach 80, then become colon and rectum. Okay, yeah, so based on these statistics, it shows that there will be a shift between a greater proportion of cancer diagnosis. Okay, and then basically, yeah, they just explain what I just explained just now lah. You can take a look. Okay, so this one I took it from the city website. So how many people do actually get cancer a year? This is from the National Cancer website. Actually 14,253 people. So it means 39 people get diagnosed with cancer a day. And then each day 15 people die of cancer. And all these are Singaporeans. I'm not saying they are Okay, so there are tons of people in Singapore, right? Not even non-Singaporeans, right? So these are just Singaporeans, okay? So if you have a late stage cancer treatment that you need, each month minimum about $8,000. So meaning 1 year is about 8 times 12, so it's about $96,000. We're close to 100k lah. So do you have extra 100k a year to pay for this cancer treatment if you don't have your shield plans? And also your shield plans, right? They might not fully cover the cost as with the changes in the CDL. So you need to take note to try and bump it up lah if it does not cover sufficiently. Okay, so what actually affects the cause of cancer is like the stage that you're diagnosed at and the type of cancer and whether there's any risk of complications. So it's like, let's say I guess if it's a brain cancer, it's like kind of hard to treat because like your brain very hard to open up and then remove the tumor or this thing. Okay, and also what affects the cost, whether you want to get treated in the hospital, private, government, and then which ward actually. So if government, like which ward lah, okay, private only one type of ward lah, type of treatment. So whether should it be like target hormone therapy or this thing or surgery, all of this affects very different costs lah. Okay, so before you actually get cancer, you need to have tests to diagnose the cancer lah. So first level is usually it starts with a health screening. So in the health screening, you do a blood test to screen for cancer and tumor markers. So for this kind of test, right, usually it costs about $200 to $1,000 depending on which clinic you go to and also depending on the package you take up with the clinic. Okay, so let's say your blood test turns out bad lah, so you have a high level of some cancer marker. What should they do now? So second level would be to take the imaging test. So usually they will do a CT scan, MRI, or whatever this kind of test lah. So this kind of test will cost between $300 to $25,000. So previously I had high levels of CA125. That's a ovary cancer marker. So I had some ultrasound done also. Okay, so if ultrasound done, everything is fine, right? Then great, you don't have cancer. Okay, but if later they see something weird, then they want to do a biopsy, which either using a needle or doing an endoscopy or kind of surgery to take out the tissue to go and check whether it's cancerous. So that's a biopsy lah. Okay, so this biopsy can cost anywhere between $500 to $20,000. Okay, so these are the costs of biopsy in a public hospital, and then this is in private. So you can see actually, right, there's really a huge difference between public cost and private cost. So you can see 4,000 versus 20,000. That's like easily 5 times the amount lah. So if you do not have the requisite integrated shield plans and the riders, then you definitely afford a lot of out-of-pocket costs lah. Yeah, if you only have the public plan, then you go for private, then maybe your public plan will cover $4,000, you pay $16,000 yourself. Yeah. Okay. So okay, let's say it's very serious and then they found it to be cancer and then they want to remove the tumor. Okay, so let's say if they realize this tumor has not like infected the other parts of the body, right? So they do a surgery to remove the tumor lah. So these are the the different type of cancer surgeries that can be done. Okay, so they also show you private, public, how much lah. So just a like brief comparison of private versus public, also about 5 times difference, okay, in the pricing. Yeah, so prostate cancer is the most expensive of this list. Like even public, right, subsidized. Oh, public subsidized so low, but then public unsubsidized so high. Yeah, so it's a huge difference, 25 times the amount. So do ensure you have the right amount of coverage if you want to go private lah. So if you're okay with public, go ahead. Yeah, usually the cost should be quite manageable if it's subsidized lah. So if you try to go for the AOI, the unsubsidized one, it can be quite costly also. Okay. Then chemotherapy. So chemotherapy is actually a medical cancer treatment that utilizes cancer-related medications. So all these are actually outpatient medications to destroy abnormal cells and to halt the spread in the body. So the CDL, right, does not affect all this inpatient thing, affects this chemotherapy portion. Okay, so this the medication the doctors prescribe to you outpatient lah. So whether this drug can be independently used or combined, so this one is up to the doctor's discretion lah. So if the cancer treatments are all considered like outpatient, then it all falls under this CDL thing, and then you need to ensure you have the sufficient coverage lah, because now there's always limits lah. Okay, so average cost of chemotherapy, this is a monthly one. So average cost of monthly chemotherapy is about $1,000 to $3,000 depending you are going for private. This average, but depends if you need some kind of special drug or special kind of cancer. This bill size is not going to be what you see here. Okay, so example here, this drug that is very special, so it's used to treat a rare form of eye cancer. So a single vial costs this amount, so a yearly cost for this treatment already $1 million, and this is USD. So this is the cost of cancer outpatient drug that can go up to $1 million. Okay, yeah, so actually it's $1.5 million, you know, USD, the exchange rate. Yeah, okay, so what are other kinds of treatment that the doctor can prescribe other than chemotherapy? So in addition to chemotherapy, they can either do immunotherapy, radiation therapy, stem cell transplant, hormone therapy, or proton beam therapy. So there's all these like average costs that are written there. So immunotherapy, this one is usually usually also like medicine lah. So you'll be part of the chemotherapy and immunotherapy. So part of the outpatient CDL. Okay, so 156 to 234K per year. Okay. Then radiation therapy is usually cost about 25,000 to 30K per session. Stem cell transplant, usually this is inpatient, so don't need to worry. So about 70,000 per treatment. Okay, then proton beam therapy, this one might not be covered, so this one you need to check your policy details whether it's covered. So proton beam therapy is a new kind of therapy, which is a form of like radiation therapy, but it's more targeted. Okay, so it's about 100K a year lah. Okay. Okay, so other than having all this treatment, usually cancer, some people very scared of dying, or like they need some kind of counseling. So usually there is a palliative or hospice care made available for them. So if you do need this care, then these are the costs lah. So there is a inpatient kind, there's a daycare kind, there's home care kind lah. Okay, so home care looks like the cheapest, or daycare looks like the cheapest, but if you do need the inpatient kind, then it's going to cost $75 to $300 daily. Okay, so imagine you go for the highest, 300 plus daily. So 1 month is already how much? $10,000. Yeah. Okay, so that's how expensive this kind of care can be. Okay, so let's just like summarizing everything. So cancer treatment timeline before and after. Okay, before the scan, how much is it? 200 to 20,000 total, around there lah. Then per surgery is about 2,000 to 60,000, around there. Okay, chemotherapy, like I mentioned, this is the one that affects. Okay, so 100,000 to 1.5 million could be all out of pocket if you don't have the right coverage. Okay, then palliative care, usually some insurance do cover a bit of this lah. Okay, then what happens after your relapse? Very common, right? Everyone knows cancer in remission doesn't mean you are completely cured. And you are a higher chance of relapsing than a normal person who never got cancer before. Okay, so yeah, relapse. So if actually this thing costs about 2 million, then next time you relapse costs about 2 million again, do you have 4 million in your bank to pay for all this cancer treatment? Yeah, so this is just an example lah. Okay, so okay, so also about like coping with cancer lah. There's a like most people think that they got cancer, they can continue working, all this thing, right? But actually, physically coping with cancer can be very demanding. You have a lot of side effects, and then you probably cannot think properly. You probably can't do your work properly. So practical issues from work, you need to take time off work to do all this treatment. Then socially, you will face difficulties telling your employers about this. Emotionally, you will feel freaking bad and everything. Okay, I mean, imagine you just have your IP and then your IP bills are all covered lah. So, do you want to continue going back to work? If you don't want to continue going back to work, that's where the critical illness insurance comes into play lah. So, it replaces your income for a certain period of time, depending on how much you buy. So, like, let's say you buy for 5 years, then you can afford not to go to work for 5 years, okay, while you take time to recover mentally and physically, all these things lah. Okay, so if you don't buy, then you don't have the luxury of that. You really have to continue working because your medical bills are not going to be fully covered by IP. And also, what about maybe you need to hire someone to take care of your kids because you can't take care of your kids, or you can't even take care of yourself? all these things will affect you, so make sure all these things are planned for lah. Yeah. Okay. So actually, cancer may be scary, but many people actually survive it physically. So they actually recover from cancer. Okay. Financially, not so much lah, because if you don't adequately insure yourself, right, all these things are going to be a huge financial burden on yourself lah. Okay. So don't ever let this be you. Okay, so that's all for my sharing. Okay, you can follow me to check out my website for more financial content. And then if you want, you can feel free to share this video if you felt it was useful lah. Okay, so any questions, drop me a DM on my Telegram. Okay, so actually this video has ended, but I will continue sharing some newspaper articles about cancer survivors, all these things to show you how is it actually in real life lah. So if you already found out all you need about cancer, you can just end the video here. Okay, so let's go and see the news articles. Okay, so this is the first article. At 29, after marrying for 1 month, she was told that she had stage 3.5 lymphoma and fought for her life. Okay, so it come out as a like mild dry cough 1 month before her wedding. So like she don't care lah, just go ahead with wedding preparation, and she got go and see GP. But then all the GP just say is just a normal cough and just prescribe cough syrup. And then so went through wedding, everything, but then continue to cough the lungs out. Then a month later, with all the coughing, she finally coughed out blood lah. So this like super serious lah, you coughing blood leh. So she better rush. She go to the hospital, check, do an X-ray, show a big mass on her right lung lah. So that's cancer lah. Okay. So at first suspect is pneumonia, then put on drip. Then after they develop high fever, then need to do more scanning, then actually discover a large tumor, a slice of bread on the lung. Okay, so it's a very serious cancer. Yeah, so at the midnight on the very same day was already immediately go there for a biopsy to remove a sample, and results out on the same day. Okay, ask the parents or whoever to step out of the room, so to speak to them first. I want to know that something is wrong lah, so need to prepare herself for the worst. Okay, so the doctor actually told her it was lymphoma, few most common cancer in Singapore. So she suffered from this caused by a mutation in the DNA. So mutation of DNA is random lah, okay. Then affects the body's lymphatic system. Okay, so it's stage 3.5. This is quite serious already. Yeah. So usually progress stage 1 through 4. So 4 is really like the last stage. She is already almost at the last stage. Yeah. Okay. Then because cancer aggressive, need to start on chemotherapy immediately. So at that time, never even hear of this cancer before, but then impression of cancer is scary lah. So she braced herself for painful conversation, asked him to annul marriage, because usually within 3 years you can annul your marriage. Okay, so the husband actually promised to stick with her, really very sweet guy. Yeah, not the only difficult conversation, because they have to discuss the option of like egg freezing in case they want to have kids in future lah. Okay, so Catholic, and then not wanting to delay treatment, they decide against it, then let nature take its course lah. Okay, so eventually she went ahead with a treatment plan, and then she was sent out to cancer ward. So she shared her ward with 3 other patients. All of them no longer have hair, and one of them was even groaning in pain all day all night. So that's how painful cancer can be. And one was really bloated from water retention, legs so swollen. Then so it felt like a mirror into her own future lah, like she will become like that lor. So all until up to that point on that life, never been hospitalized. So cancer is just sudden one. All along no hospitalization, but can just suddenly land you in the hospital. Okay, so tubes inserted, not a good idea. So feel very horrible lah, because you cannot go to toilet yourself. And then the next 4 months went through 6 cycles of intensive chemotherapy. I cannot imagine the stress she must have went through lah. Okay, I think I'll be like crying my eyes out, but that's life. Okay, then drugs delivered through a drip, followed by saline drip, then basically lay in bed whole week while everyone drip into her. Okay, then first week after each chemotherapy was toughest, feel very weak, cannot even like walk to like bedroom to toilet, already feel like do 2.4 km run, no appetite, mouth and throat filled with ulcer, ate baby food, all these things. Okay, so chemotherapy works by killing off fast growing cells in the body. So it works by killing both good cells and bad cells. Okay, it also causes hair loss and destroy white blood cells. So basically, people with cancer undergoing chemo, right, usually they are very weak. Their immune system is very weak. Need to jab yourself daily to increase white blood cells. Also need to go for transfusion when blood count not normal. So very hard to bear this uncertainty even though there's also physical pain. Okay, so yeah, felt very bad during chemo as she was only suffering from this symptoms of cancer alone. So no sense of whether treatment working or not. Then she used to be someone who planned everything, then now cannot plan anything. Okay, so need to come to terms with hair loss. Used to see very long hair, then need to shave it off. Okay, then I guess she wear a wig. Yeah, she's wearing a wig. Okay, and then possibility that she may not have children. Took medical leave from full-time job. That's what happened when you have cancer. You definitely, most likely, you will don't want to continue working. Okay, a lot of people say they're going to continue working, but I tell you, most people are not going to continue working. Okay, yeah. Okay, so love and support to her parents. Everyone took turn to drive her to a hospital. Yeah, so she eventually survived So yeah, no need to go through chemo, step into the doctor office, see a huge green, and then yeah, great, all clear from the doctor, cancer officially in remission. Okay, so many life-changing experience, left her job, and then now they run the daily vanity together. Okay, so she wanted to be a mother, so she went to try for a baby for 2 years after a cancer journey. So having a kid after cancer is totally possible. So she would have been maybe 33, 34 then she suffered for one miscarriage, successfully gave birth to her eldest son a year later. Okay, so today she's already 37 years old, so it's like already 18 years since her cancer diagnosis. So she got 2 sons, age 1 and 4, and then so basically yeah, correct, she gave birth with 33, 34. And even though motherhood experience fulfilling, the fear of relapse still hangs over her. So fear of relapse is always there for cancer patients. Okay, yeah. Then cancer journey make her more appreciative of family and friends. Never expect it, but friends do leave you when you have cancer, even if you're not borrowing money from them. So some of them just disappeared. Okay, so before cancer, all about chonging and hanging out with friends and filling out a social calendar. But now realize, given how short life is, what really matters is the people who love you. Okay. So last time you used to overplan life, then now realize you can plan what you're going to do for next 10 years, but may not be around the next 10 years. So always plan for the unexpected as well, even if you might not be around. Okay? Yeah, also try to live in the moment more. Okay? So that's the first article. Okay, next article is mom received a liver transplant, even from stage 4, as a stage 4 cancer patient. So last time, how she discovered cancer start with stomachache. All these things start with just kind of simple illness, right? Thought it's cough, thought it's stomachache, diarrhea only, right? Yeah, but nope, it's actually colorectal cancer. Yeah, and then 4th stage, she thought she would die soon, very frightened. Then terminal, the doctor told her it's terminal. But 2 years later, she's now cancer free as her son donated part of his liver. Okay, so many people even diagnosed in stage 4 do survive the cancer. Okay, so cannot surgically remove the cells from the liver, it risks too much losing of the vital organs, so need to undergo chemotherapy to control the spread. And then basically liver transplant not recommended for this kind of stage 4 patient because increase the risk of cancer relapse. But then it's actually possible if you have a careful patient selection. So yeah, they went ahead and did it for him, for her, and then the cutoff for this kind of transplant is 70 I mean, if you're too old, there's no point in transplanting into you because you'll probably be too old to survive the surgery, all these things, right? Okay, yeah, so the chances of surviving by another 5 years. Okay, so there's always hope in cancer. It's not the end. I mean, it's not the end for you of life, but make sure it's not the end of your financial life as well. Okay, so this kind of unseen struggles of breast cancer patient after they return to work. Okay, let's take a look. Faced with uncertain future, painful and expensive treatment, mental anguish, also need to grapple with disruption to career and financial well-being. So definitely your career will be affected, but financial well-being, as long as you have sufficient insurance, it should not be severely affected. Okay. So I already say most patients leave their jobs when they got cancer. I don't know why many people tell me they can continue working, but because it's quite hard. Okay, so either you will lose a job or you have quit after the diagnosis. Okay, so regardless of when they return to work, they experience some form of stress and anxiety. Workplace change, bodies change, may not receive the support that they need lah. So back to work challenges. I mean, this is the side effects of chemotherapy lah, chemo fog. I mean, I also feel the fog, but I don't have chemo, but I'm still foggy. Can only imagine what people have to go through when they have chemotherapy lah. Okay, caught off guard by these post-chemo side effects, more intense during the chemo period. Okay, so action and movement need to be slow and readjusted so I don't overexert the body. Single trip, need to go a lot of trip. Okay, yeah, so even like those not self-employed also need to worry whether their boss, co-workers will be sympathetic towards their new limitations and needs. So all these are definitely going to happen. So it will be great if you have some time off work during your chemotherapy to actually recover lah. So other things like body image, hair loss from chemo, yeah, physical changes, dry skin, weight gain, yeah, non-inclusive work culture, so even face termination lah. Yeah, very hard and financial benefit and social support, returning to work. Yeah, sense of normalcy, but then I mean, when you're very sick, do you want to go to work? Really, right? Yeah, okay. So yeah, that's all. Cancer, dealing with insensitivity and discrimination, so they don't know how is it like to have breast cancer and sometimes make insensitive remarks. Okay, yeah, supporting workers. Okay, so that's all. Breast cancer. Next, tongue cancer. Okay, so actress and former NMP Janice Koh share on social media her experience in fighting cancer. Okay, started out as a small ulcer. So everything started out from something small. Then ignore, right? Go continue work, right? Turned out to be cancer. Okay, chemo to remove visible cancer, reduce chance of coming back. Okay, huge blow, tremendous impact on speech and work. Okay, and then married and then have 2 sons. So told doctor must do whatever it takes to make her better lah. Okay, so said treatable, treatments completed, focus on rest recovery. So focus is on rest recovery, it's not focus on getting more money. So please ensure you buy enough critical illness insurance. Okay, speech and eating has been significantly impacted, but then will improve with therapy and time lah. So with enough financial support, you will battle with cancer and survive well. Okay, but without, it's kind of hard lah. Okay, next, cancer survivor, ASO only. So don't think that young don't have cancer. ASO, battle cancer, survive and write a book of jokes. Want to bring joy to others lah. Okay, so I'm not really a jokes kind of person, but okay, sure. Yeah, so the mother opened up about the family's experience, don't have time to grieve, and then just went straight into survival mode. 3rd trimester of pregnancy with his baby sister. Oh, the mother was even pregnant when he was diagnosed. Okay, so know how to care for a cancer patient. COVID restrictions also. Yeah, had to give birth to their daughter without a husband by her side. Daughter also later diagnosed with Kawasaki disease, but recovered lah. Good thing. Yeah. Okay, so undergoing chemo will make you very nauseous, affect your taste buds. Okay. Yeah, and then yeah, so ended his treatment in July 2020 and has been in remission for 2 years. So people do survive cancer, but financially not so much if you don't have the right courage. Okay, so yeah, so this kid is alive, and then you can support him by buying his book. Okay. Okay, this one, very sad. This guy could quite handsome, right? But he passed on already lah. So he's an NTU graduate. He died after 5 years battle with a rare bone cancer. Okay, so he was in his 2nd year at NTU then diagnosed with this cancer. He thought it's like a toothache lah, but actually it's a rare bone cancer. Yeah, found under his left jawbone. So it's rare lah, just suay lor. Yeah. Okay, so filial son, start chemo immediately, had surgery, remove his lower jaw, worked very hard with the doctors during the treatment, and then painful treatment continue. Even he was having treatment, he continued playing basketball, okay? Then he went into remission, but after that, follow-up visit. I tell you, remission doesn't mean you're cured. Still can relapse, okay? So follow-up visit to hospital in June revealed that cancer cells spread, but strong willpower never wavered, even continued resume class and prepare for exam. Wow, really amazing. I mean, if I really find out that I have cancer when I studying halfway, I am going to go enjoy the world. Please don't ask me to study anymore. Yeah, you know. Okay, persisted till the end, graduate with NTUs with honors, okay? Yeah, so he want to encourage other cancer patients. So he went on to become an investment consultant and then but had to undergo chemotherapy again when his illness returned. So this time he was told that he reached the terminal stage of cancer, only 6 months left to live, so did not give up and wanted to share his journey of battling cancer to encourage other patients to face their illnesses bravely. This, however, on March 8, this year, 2023, admitted to the hospital and doctors found that cancer cells in his brain has spread further and then he died 6 days later. Yeah. Okay, so that's all lah. This poor guy. Very young. Okay. And then we have this survivor of lymphoma. He wants to share his Mr. Licky No. He wants to share hope on social media. So he thought he was in his prime of his life, and then yeah, so all of this started with a lymph node infection that he thought it was a lymph node infection. Then swelling persisted, then go and check further, told like this cancer lah. This kind of thing is very common. That's how cancer starts. Okay, nobody knows you will get cancer one. Okay, in short, got earn a lot of money and get a lot of recognition. He was like as tip of his top of his career or whatever lah. So don't drink, don't smoke, exercise 3 times a week, very fit. Got do anything wrong? No. Just cancer just happens. Okay? So next few weeks was spent at a hospital undergoing various scans and then diagnosed with stage 2 lah. Stage 2 not so serious, okay? But affect white blood cells lah. So means will disable his body from fighting infection, so he'll be very weak lah. Okay, so no immune system. Then basically I guess COVID will affect him a lot. Okay, so underwent 6 rounds of chemo and then targeting the tumor mass in his chest. It was inoperable as near his heart. Okay, so these are like cancer complications because they are in a specific area, cannot be operated on. Okay, his son Nathan was just a year old when this guy was diagnosed. So his son just born when he was 40, so 41 he was diagnosed. Okay, so now the boy is already 5, so it's 4 years since he was diagnosed. And also have a 1.5-year-old doctor with his wife of 9 years. Okay, so initially chose not to tell his parents, just a handful of people know about the condition. His wife, sister, cousin, and also his insurance agent. So definitely if you have cancer, please tell your insurance agent so they can claim for you, right? Okay, so need to act strong in front of people who have no cancer. When you have cancer, it's very texting. Okay, and then also cleared on cancer in March 2020 and decided to be more open about struggle. So he tell his family and then he got his all clear for the first time. So he went on social media to document his journey, share what he went through as cancer patients. So cancer is not a death sentence. It's 2023. There are many advanced treatments out there. Just hope that people won't be as scared as I was if they discovered they have cancer. Honestly, everyone will be very scared. Yeah, I'll be very scared as well. Okay, but yeah, with sufficient financial protection, you will survive and financially and physically. Okay, so he also did a podcast. Yeah, he say he don't like people to tell him to 加油, so don't 加油. Okay, just I don't know how to give encouragement. Yeah, so I don't know. I guess better not to say anything. So don't need to say 加油 also. Okay, so if you know people are sick on chemotherapy, don't visit them lah. Cough or flu can kill them. The cancer journey took a toll on his wife. The wife developed anxiety, mental illness. Okay, so that the child will grow up with a father to cope. She sought comfort in the Buddhist faith. Saw a psychiatrist lah. Okay, so didn't want the husband to go public about cancer journey, and then but in the end relented lah. Okay, so unfortunately he suffered a relapse in March, and then he shared it on social media as well. So he had 4 rounds of chemotherapy followed by stem cell transplant. Okay, so he was actually in hospital for 40 days. So he shared videos of his daily life and how he battled cancer relapse. So cancer relapse is really very common. Okay, so underwent updated his Instagram account daily. So this is his checklist to stay alive and be cancer free for 2023. And yeah, basically the simple list. Okay, so yeah, he has been in cancer remission again. Okay, so he used to work 14 hours. Okay, 14 hours day or more is very common for those like in big four. So for people, please take care. All these people, very high chance of cancer. Okay, so now I have new perspective on life. Huge wake up call, thought I was dying, and then regrets not spending enough time with family. So always have enough time with your family, see your kids. Yeah. Okay, so change your lifestyle to on less work. Yeah, that's what people should do if they want to live well. Okay, so we recovered and then it was just nice to get better. Okay, great. Okay, next article. So there's a rise in pregnancy-associated breast cancer as more women in Singapore delay having kids. So I didn't know that if you delay having kids, you will actually have breast cancer. I mean, high chance. So yeah, I guess I'm high chance now. So I'm in my 30s soon. Okay, so if you choose to delay childbearing until 30s, 40s, higher chance of breast cancer. Yeah. So after delivery in the first 6 months, very high chance of cancer. Yeah, so jump in numbers who conceived in the 40s. Most of them at first thought is like mastitis, I don't know how to pronounce. So it's like thought the milk stuck, right? But it's not. It's actually like a lump in the breast in armpit, and it's actually cancer. Okay, so lumps are confused with this. I don't know how to pronounce. Okay, so it's engorgement. So yeah, so it should not persist for more than 2 weeks. If the lump persists for more than 2 weeks, please seek treatment. Is high chance is not all this lah. Okay, so diagnosis of pregnancy as with breast cancer may be delayed because everyone thought they feel unwell because pregnancy but then after it's not lah. So yeah, please check. And then while majority of patients detect the breast lump during pregnancy, yeah, so sometimes can be benign. So always important to seek medical attention early. So before you seek medical attention early, please make sure you have the right insurance. Okay, the breast symptoms are similar to more aggressive. Okay, choose to undergo treatment while pregnant and have gone on to have successful delivery. So okay, the thing about having cancer while you are pregnant, right, is like you don't know whether the cancer treatment will affect your kid. So a lot of people actually choose not to undergo the treatment lah. So that's actually quite bad. So yeah, I mean if you cure yourself, then maybe the baby is affected, then the baby might be gone, but actually you live on, you can have another baby lah. So you need to measure your own cost benefit analysis. Okay, so maintain a healthy diet before and during pregnancy to reduce the risk of breast cancer. Honestly, this doesn't really help. Just have kids at a younger age, I guess. Yeah, do self-examination and seek medical attention early. Okay, so now we come on to branded content. Okay, so like I mentioned, critical illness is super important. Even if you don't have kids, it's still very important. So this guy, Joel Lim, 26, diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, underwent surgery to remove a tumor in the pancreas followed by chemotherapy. 3 years later in 2019, continued to have cancer and progressed to stage 4, means spread to other parts of the body lah. Thanks to advances in cancer treatment, managed to activate the body's immune system to fight the disease and defy the initial poor prognosis. Okay, so but this treatment is very expensive. So estimate that recent treatments add up to 30k, twice monthly immunotherapy, 5 figures each month. Okay, so surgery also 6 figures sum. You don't have insurance, how you pay for all this? Yeah, so thankfully hospital insurance covered most of his medical expenses. He was a former financial consultant, so lucky he buy critical illness, life and personal accident policy. So he very lucky he buy all this before he was diagnosed. Okay, so if he didn't work as a financial consultant before then, or nobody can sell him all this insurance, he need to fork out all these things. I think most people would rather die, right? Yeah, fully paid for. Okay, so yeah, after diagnosed, unable to work, money came in handy to help with family day-to-day expenses. Okay, can use part of the cash to pay for private tuition fees and private costs to get where he is today. Okay, so super important for you to be well covered. Without insurance, the sum at the fork out will be unimaginable. Okay. Yeah, so let's debunk some of these cancer myths. So basically early detection will lead to better outcomes. And then how do you have early detection is make sure you are well covered, so you're not scared to go and do all this screening and tests, then you can have early detection. If you never buy anything, you of course scared to do scanning or screening, right? Then very hard to survive after that lah, huh? Okay, so with cancer increasingly prevalent in our society, it's quite likely you know someone with cancer and plus going through it yourself. This is really, definitely everyone knows someone who's going through cancer, okay? Yeah, or had went through cancer already, maybe not around. So leading cause of death in Singapore continue to increase worldwide, and then cancer screening is advocated to detect cancer lah, even when asymptomatic. So even if you have no symptom at all, right, you could already have cancer. Nobody knows, okay? So screening for cancers are common, they are common and have a much better survival outcome. Huh? Okay, so what kind of cancer can be treated if detected early? So prostate cancer, breast cancer, and colorectal cancer. So do scan for all these cancers if you have do a yearly health checkup. Okay, so allows to be detected in early stages and lead to better outcomes lah. Okay. So breast cancer early detection screening improves the chance of survival, making it one of the most treatable cancers. Okay, colorectal cancer if early stage 5-year survival rate of 90%. However, it drops to less than 5% in stage 4. Okay, lung cancer traditional top killer. Noted that overall survival rate of both late stage have improved over the years lah. So basically, get it detected and then treat it lah. Is it true that I'm safe for cancer because my family history don't have cancer? Confirm not true lah. I don't need to read this, I also know lah. Okay, so commonly thought to be hereditary, but actually gene mutation can be passed lah. Yeah. Okay, so cancer can occur without any known risk factor and do not seek medical attention. So what are some cancer symptoms you should look out for? Okay, screening is actually for people without symptoms. One, if you have symptoms means it's not screening anymore lah, Your change in bowel habit, rectal bleeding, lump, skin lesion, sign change in sign you grow a lot more, right? All these things, sign you lose a lot of weight, right? Yeah, please go and see a doctor. Okay, so regular health checkup will help you identify serious health condition. Okay, lung cancer often they're late stage because usually you cough, it's like normal, right? But then if you know you're not coughing and sign coughing, please go and see a doctor. So persistent cough, trouble breathing, constant chest pain, coughing out blood, feeling shaky, unexplained weight loss. Okay, so all these are not exclusive to lung cancer. It can be any type of cancer. So yeah, making it hard to detect. So anyone with persistent symptoms should seek medical advice lah. Early detection lead to better outcomes. So breast cancer should be 40 and above, lung cancer between 55 to 74, and then colorectal cancer is 50 and above lah. Okay, what type of treatment available? So treatment combination of all those that I talked about. Early stage cancer can be much faster. You can return to your usual quality of life. Okay, so that's all for the news articles. Okay, I've come to the end of today's video. So if you have learned something new, please help to like and subscribe. Okay, till next time. Bye everyone.